So about a year ago now, one of you left a comment or sent me an email. I can't remember, it's been a while, but I do remember that you mentioned this was the most productive stickbait color that you had used, and you asked me to do a color match. Now, the reason I remember this is because you had also said like it either wasn't available or hard to find. I do remember going to Tackle Warehouse. They did not have it in stock. But luckily, because before I had started bait making, I had started to collect these actually from the bargain bin at my local sporting goods store, dug through the tackle bag, and lo and behold, I did have a pack of it in the 4-inch Yum Dinger. In today's video, we are going to be color matching Yum's Mardi Gras. Hey, bait chuckers, what's going on? Well, it is cold here around these parts. I will tell you what, the local pond water's cold, the Delta water's in the high 50s right now. And speaking of that, I think, yeah, it's 57 degrees in the shop right now. We got the full sweatshirt digs going. It is cold. I'm not used to this Highlands, foothills weather. I'm used to that sunny Bay Area weather. So it's cold in the shop. We got our molds warming up here on the hot plate, kind of taking the chill off, and it's time to slow down. All right, your boy's been in a fishing rut, and we got to go back to basics. I need some stick baits. I think it's time to pull out the Senko. I know, you hate to throw it, but you love to catch fish with it. So I figured, why not pull this off of the shelf? The analytics don't lie. You all love the color match videos, and I love doing them. So we have a fresh pack of the Yum Dinger in Mardi Gras. This was a requested color match, which, by the way, I do pay attention to the comments. I know this is a year old, but if you all want a color match or a video idea, throw it in the comments because I do read all of them. So not trying to farm engagement here, but drop a comment if you got a color match, even in the future. If you're watching a different video and it sparks an idea like, hey, that reminds me of that color. I'd love to see how he makes that. How could he match that color? Drop a comment. You never know. Could end up in the video. Didn't mean to rhyme, but hey, that works. This is a fresh pack, so we will go ahead and break the seal together. Yep, no cheating whatsoever. All right, there we go. That is what we are working with. This is the Yum Mardi Gras. Now, it looks to be a pretty simple color match. It doesn't look like a very complicated color. I see watermelon. We'll probably start with Watermelon 101 by Lureworks. I see some chartreuse flake for sure, and definitely some purple square flake. Now, I don't have the purple square flake, but I do have some larger purple hex we can use. And funny, you know, I had actually pulled down some black square flake when I was looking at it in the package, but seeing it up close here, I don't see any black square flake in that. I think that is all just the purple in there. So we may get away with just some watermelon and chartreuse and a little bit of purple. Should be a pretty cool color match. Let's get up close and personal and take another look. So here's a better look for you. This is the Yum Dinger. This is the 4-inch Mardi Gras colorway by Yum. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Yum definitely has some good colors in their lineup for sure. But taking a look at this, I think watermelon for sure. I think Watermelon 101 is going to be a good place to start. I was thinking maybe some black melon, but I think just plain watermelon will be fine. A lot of chartreuse flake. So I definitely think that we should go with the 0.15 chartreuse hex. I feel like that matches up exactly with the glitter that's in there. And then likewise, we have the purple glitter, not to be confused with the grape, okay? Purple and grape are both colors from Lureworks, but they're two different shades of purple. And I feel like the purple is the match here with the square flake that's in there. So we don't have square flake, so we are going to go with large 0.040 on the purple, and again the 0.015 in the chartreuse flake. So I think that's the colors that we're going to use. And again, that Lureworks Watermelon 101 I think is exactly what we need. Yeah, I think so. That's where we're going to start. Let's get some plastisol warmed up. All right. Here we are with a fresh cup of plastisol ready to rock and roll. And you know, I got to give a shout out to Dead On. This is the black label, the sinking blend, the worm. This is still my initial 5-gallon bucket I'm trying to work on. Okay, I didn't go through the worm blend as fast as I thought I would. So this is 2 years old. And still, you know, aside from little bubbles from the moisture, having to mix it up with the drill, still very, very clear, not a ton of browning or anything for being 2 years old. That's pretty darn impressive. So we're going to start off again with the Watermelon 101, and it is light, and we are, you know, battling salt. There is salt in the bait, and we do not have salt, so we'll start with 10 drops and kind of go from there, see where it gets us. Okay, that is definitely on the right path. 10 might be it, actually. I'm going to go ahead and grab our test mold here, and we're going to fill that up. We might need to go a little bit darker. We're going to let that cool for just a second, and then we'll see how that compares here. Holding it up there, I think we're probably going to need slightly more. I think I'm just going to put 5 more drops in. Yeah, I like where that's getting us. Look at that. You could almost dunk that right in there. You know what I mean? All right, let's get some of that going. I know we got to vacuum this thing out. There's a ton of bubbles in it here. Ton of bubbles in it. Like I said, we had to whip it real good with the drill. We're at the bottom of the bucket. I'll tell you what, though, that's looking pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. However, holding these up side by side, you can see the watermelon is, yeah, I think we're going to need to go a little more intense. All right. We could probably easily double up. Should we go all the way to 30 drops? Yeah, we probably should. Okay, I ended up doing 10 more drops. We're going to see where this gets us. That's looking like it's a lot more closer to where we want to be. Yeah, okay. Now we're starting to see similar colors. You see that there? We're starting to see that darker green. Okay. All right. Let's get this one out of the mold. Okay. All right. Hey. Look at that. Now we're getting somewhere. That's 25 drops, yo. Okay. 25 drops. I think that is looking like a magic number right there. Yes, sirree. I will take that. All right, let's actually get this warmed up. This is starting to cool off. That process took a little bit. So 25 drops, and we're going to get this all heated back up. Let's get the glitter in, and then we'll do a final dip here in our color sample mold, and then we'll see how we're looking. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at our glitter. We're going to start off with the 0.15 chartreuse. There is quite a bit in there, so I'm going to go with a full 1/16, somewhat heaping 1/16 of a teaspoon there of the chartreuse. We'll dump that in, and that should give us a nice even spread. Oh yeah. I definitely like the way that is looking on the knife. We kind of have a kind of sporadic spread here in the worm, and then you can see we also have that similar sporadic spread here in the cup. So 1/16 really will do you a long ways. You know, I see a lot of people dump a ton of glitter into their baits, and really, like, less is more. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of the way I take a look at it. Okay, speaking of less is more, we're just going to go in here with one, all right, leveled off scoop, okay, because there's some square flake in there, all right, but there's not a whole lot. and we don't want the grape or the purple to overpower. Obviously, you can see the green is the star of the show here, the watermelon, and the chartreuse flake. And I told you, I thought this was going to be a pretty simple color match. I'm liking where this is going already, folks. Take a look at that. Sporadic purple, heavy chartreuse with that watermelon back there, and that's exactly what we got here. Sporadic purple with that chartreuse and that watermelon. Awesome stuff. Let's get our test mold. All right. In the meantime, we're going to get this heated up and vacuumed out. All right, let's get this one removed from the mold here and see what it's looking like. I think it looks like we have a match. I mean, we'll look at it from a couple different angles here, but that's pretty darn close. There we go. There's the good lighting we need. I think in the thick part, for sure, it's going to match. I mean, we won't know really until we inject it, but I can tell you from a color perspective and glitter perspective, I think it's looking pretty good. Now, if anything, maybe a little darker because the thinner worm, it might need a little bit darker. We won't know it, like I said, till we inject it, but we're on the correct path for sure. So I think this is just a plain watermelon 101. Super simple recipe and apparently very productive according to whoever had suggested this. So looking real good. By the way, this is the Epic Bait Molds color test mold, so you can search for that on their site. It's in the other section. Sweet little mold. I'll put a link to it down below in the description. But really useful for like what we just did. The different versions, you know, 5 drops, 10 drops, ended up with 25 drops. So it can really help you color match and get an idea of what you're trying to match very, very quickly. All right, well, let's get the molds ready and heat up the plastisol. Let's get ready to inject. All right, here we are. We are all set to go. Remember, don't forget to glove up. Okay. For the molds today, we have pulled out the 4-inch and the 5-inch classic stick bait by Epic Bait Molds. So we'll start with the 4-inch first. A nice medium injection there. Love a medium pace when we're injecting our baits here. The molds are warm. We had them warming up on the hot plate, 50 degrees Celsius. Don't know what that is in freedom units. Unfortunately, I don't know the conversion off the top of my head. But 50 degrees Celsius, that's where the plate likes it in warm-up mode. I think it's like 80, 85 degrees, something like that. Keeps the chill off of it. Now, they shouldn't suck down a ton because they are warm, but you never know, so we will keep an eye on it. All right. Yeah, this one here you can see is starting to suck down just a little bit, so we'll top that off. There we go. Again, Dead On Plastics sinking worm blend, so these should perform well in the water. Looking pretty good. All Mardi Gras out. Boy, I'd love to go to Mardi Gras someday. Have you guys been to Mardi Gras? Put it down in the comments. Let me know. Should I make it out to Mardi Gras next February? I feel like it'd be a good time. I've never been there. It's on the bucket list. Let me know. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. 4-inch classic stick bait. Take a look at that sprue. I think it looks pretty good. Here we go. Only one way to find out. Which side is it going to come off on? That side right there. Oh, looking pretty good. Here we go. Moment of truth. Let's drop it in. Boom. There we go. There we go. Color's looking pretty good. Now, I will say, you'll notice off the bat, right off the bat, that the translucency and what we poured is going to be more translucent than what we have here. Now, that's because of the salt. Now, this bait does have salt in it, so you're going to get that opacity that only salt can provide. Now, keep that in mind. We could add some salt to it, but I'm using a sinking plastisol just because I don't want to have to deal with the salt. But let's peel this out. If we drop this in there, now the opacity is going to be a little different, but that shade of green, I'm thinking is pretty close. Pretty darn close. I am liking that. I mean, I'm going to fish it. Are there any adjustments you all think you would make? I'm pretty sure that just the salt, you know, and the salt's going to brighten it up, so you might need a little more. But I don't think we need drops of black or anything. I think, yeah, just blending it through. If we pull it through just like that. I mean, in this angle, it's hard to even tell that that's the... You wouldn't even know it back there. Can you tell which one? One of these worms is not like the other. I mean, can you pull it out from that lineup right there? Which one of those do you think is the dinger? Yep, it's that one right there. That one right there. That's the dinger. And this is our 4-inch stick bait. I think we'll take it. 25 drops of Watermelon 101, 16th of chartreuse flake, 16th of purple flake. I think we got ourselves a winner. Okay, and let's take a look at the 5-inch classic stick bait. Let's see how we're doing on this one. Should be a little bit thicker, maybe even slightly darker. Yeah, still pretty translucent, but that shade of green is spot on. Lord have mercy, that looks real good. That is the perfect shade of green. Now actually, when you compare these here in the 5-inch, which is slightly thicker than the 4-inch, it's actually even harder to tell the difference. I mean, this is it right here in the center. You can tell by the dent. That's in the Yum Dinger. No, not this one. Come on now. So, but you could see that tone, that shade of watermelon is just spot on. So you could probably go a little bit darker, maybe up to 30 drops for that 4-inch if you wanted to improve it further. But I think that's our color right there if you're going to do it in a 5-inch stick bait. 25 drops, 25 to 30 drops, you know, depending on how dark you want it. And yeah, no drops of black needed. That is it. Chartreuse flake, a little purple. Mardi Gras. That's not a bad color. I really dig that. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these baits shot, and then we'll get you all some close-ups. There we go, a nice full tray of the Yum Mardi Gras stick baits. You know, I knew it would kind of be a little bit of an easy color match, but you know, sometimes the simplest colors actually do turn out to be the most productive. I mean, June bug, watermelon red. I mean, some of these colors are just surefire winners in a stick bait and many other stick baits. So I'm super excited to give Mardi Gras a try. I can honestly say I've never fished Mardi Gras before, but after doing the color match, it's a pretty simple recipe, and yeah, not a bad Senko color. I'm excited to fish it. I got plenty of 5 inches and 4-inch stick baits ready to rock and roll, and hopefully this will help us get out of our slump. We'll have to get back to some Senko fishing. So yeah, well, with that, until next time, everybody. I mean, if you got a color match you want, again, put it down in the description below. And hey, if you're watching the video at this point, don't forget to like and hype the video. I know, sorry, like and hype. Yeah, it's a new thing. I don't know. There's hype points now. So when you comment, when you like videos, you build up hype points, and then you can actually use all those hype points to hype up a particular video. So if this is something you enjoyed, make sure to hype the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And until next time, y'all know who it is. Your friend on this end, Michael, out here around these Delta sloughs, reminding you to keep on chucking. I'll get back with you.